Hey, what's up, you guys? Welcome back to my channel, Just Simply Sports here with me. I am Kaja. Happy early New Year. New Year's is tomorrow. Again, I hope you all have a wonderful and safe holiday, and the new year starts off for you with a complete bang. Like Saquon's new year is going to be starting off with a bang. He has the chance to break Eric Dickerson's record next week against none other than the Giants, the team that let him go 101 yards away. And I knew the topic of conversation today was going to be, should the Eagles let Saquon play? It's the last game of the season. Should we let him play and get that record, risk his health, or should we not let him play, because we want to make sure that he's available, for the playoffs? But for me, there is no way, there is no world where Saquon should absolutely not be playing in this game. I'm going to play this clip because obviously it's a facility. I love this show. And Shady obviously he's a fellow Eagle, a diehard Eagle at heart. He used to be the Eagles' all-time leading rusher prior to Saquon this season. So interesting dynamics on this show. I absolutely love it. And some valid points were made though on both sides, if I'm being honest.
Don't make mistakes. So the team that let me go, the GM that signed off on that, the place that drafted me said I wasn't good enough to stay. You rather keep Daniel Jones than keep me. I get to break the record on y'all
against the Giants.
And the question we having today is if he should get the record or not. Y'all answer that question yourself.
I don't think there's any way they should let him go out there. I love the history being made. I'm just being completely honest. And one of the main reasons you said so, you can walk out if you want. I liked your take. I really did.
Shady has left the set.
The reason, though, and it's what Shady said, is health. Could you imagine a world where Saquon Barkley goes out there and gets hurt? Trying to get the record. Like we act like 101 yards is easy. It could take him 20 carries to get it. And quite honestly, you're not putting Saquon Barkley out there behind backups. So then you got to play your starting receivers and you got to play your starting offensive line. Look, it's what Nick Sirianni's going to do. I don't know. The thing about Eric Dickerson, he did it in a 15-game season.
I'm gonna sit in my dog's chair.
He did it in 15. He did it in 15 games in a 16-game season. Okay? Saquon is going to have to do it in a 17-game season. So does it matter? Eric did it in 2 less games? You're 101 yards. I don't think they should play him at all.
I absolutely think that it does not matter because from what I've read and what I've heard, Saquon will be doing it with less carries. So more games, less carries, less games. And more carries. Either way, I'm not going to nitpick because it is really hard to break a record. Let's not forget, though, coming into the season, how much the running back position has been undervalued, devalued. Nobody wanted to pay running backs. Almost essentially the conversation was, why I even have the running back position? They don't really bring any value to a team. And between Saquon, between Derrick Henry, between Ashton Genty in college, between Josh Jacobs, and a slew of others, I feel like there's been a resurgence this season of the running back position, and Saquon leading the charge, showing just how valuable this position is to the NFL. I absolutely love this for Saquon. I'm all about full circle moments, you guys. And like Shady said, God does not make mistakes. Saquon wanted to be a Giant. That's where he wanted to stay. He was loyal. He was willing to even take a pay cut to a certain degree so that he could stay and be a New York Giant. And they didn't want to pay him. It is what it is. He ends up going to Philly, and look at how everything has worked out. Now, Saquon, in my opinion, could have hit this record a while ago, but he, chose to sit a few games in the fourth quarter, so I think he would have been there already. But the way everything has panned out, how full circle has everything come for him that the final game, he can do it against the team that did not think he was good enough. And Saquon is a class act, so I'm not even sure if he's going to decide to play or not because he's not someone who's, going to like rub it in your face kind of guy. He's like, what's best for the team is the first thing for him, which I think is absolutely admirable and speaks even more volumes to his character and what he brings to a team organization, not just with his talent, but, with his like I said, character, his integrity, that to me is priceless. I absolutely love it. But for Saquon, I know the team spoke out. AJ Brown, wants him to hit this record. I love the fact that the team is rallying behind him and they're pushing for him to do something that has not been done since I believe the 1980s. Who cares if it's more games, less carries, so on, so yada yada yada. Stop nitpicking. I've seen the comments. Okay, I've seen the comments. I saw OJ, and respectfully, I didn't really watch OJ back in the day. I'm not familiar with Eric Dickerson's game, so I'm not going to speak on his game. But for Saquon, I absolutely hope that he does do this. At least in the first half, he breaks the record, and then he gets to sit down for the second half of the game and just watch the rest. But I love this, you guys. I'm going to actually play this clip real quick, and then we're going to come right back.
We lose Saquon, right? What's our identity going to be on offense now? And what's our plans and what's the next step of that?
We're going to upgrade the offensive line, and you're paying the guy $40 million. It's not to hand the ball up to a $12 million back.
All right, so I wanted to replay that clip just to go back. I like to go back sometimes. Sometimes you got to go back in history to go forward. And I just wanted to go ahead and show that clip really quickly of what they said on Hard Knocks about Saquon. Fast forward to now. What a slap in the gut. And for the Giants, why would they let Drew Lock go out there and ball like that this past weekend? You guys, you were in the position to get the first pick in the draft. Why would you mess it up? They can't even just end the season, right? I mean, that organization from top to bottom just needs to go. The coach needs to go. Daniel Jones is gone. GM, everybody just needs to go. The whole thing needs to be revamped from top to bottom in order for there to be success. I always say, in my opinion, you want to have a successful organization, no matter what professional sport it is, it has to start from the top all the way to the bottom. And when you have people who don't have any common sense to know that you don't let your best asset walk out the door, you know what I mean, and go to the ops, go to the other team, out of all teams to go to Philly, is completely crazy to me, and they need to be fired as soon as the season is done. Should have been fired beginning of the season. But you know what? Forget that. And the season is here. At the end of the season, everybody should be fired. Just just go ahead and just do everything all over again. Unacceptable to me, and a crazy, crazy choice that they made. And what's even crazier to me is that the quarterback position, I think, is so valued, and obviously it should be, but it's so valued to the point now where it's it undermines other positions, and they go hand in hand. As a quarterback, you gotta have somebody to throw it to. If you're a wide receiver, you gotta have a good quarterback to throw it to you. It goes hand in hand. You know what I mean? Unless you're gonna be out there throwing and running to the end zone yourself. You know what I mean? You're gonna be throwing and catching your own passes. It goes hand in hand, and it's the only position to me that I feel like it's just the pay is going up, but the requirement for what they need to do is going down. You have Trevor Lawrence, who's getting paid $50 million, and I haven't seen anything he has done to be getting paid $50 million. Anything. Jordan Love, I believe, is 55. You got Dak, who's always 12-5. He can't really make it past a certain round of playoffs. And then there's that whole conversation with the Cowboys, but he's getting paid $60 million, and now you have Brock Purdy, and by all accounts, he should be getting paid next year. And he deserves his money because they have gone to the Super Bowl. And he hasn't really been starting QB for a long time, so he deserves to be paid. But looking at how he looks this season, do you feel comfortable if you're an owner? And this is just me speaking from my fan eyes on watching the game. I cannot say I'm comfortable with paying him over $50 million for the next amount of years based on what I've seen, because when he doesn't have weapons, around him, he's not a game changer. He's more of a game manager, and that's no disrespect or slight. But if I'm paying you over $50 million, I'm expecting you to be able to game change when you need to, when people are hurt, or you got to step up and do something that you need to do. And it's crazy because the market dictates that he has to get paid more than $50 million because he's accomplished more. You can't pay him less than Trevor Lawrence. That'd be disrespectful. You know what I mean? It's absolutely crazy. But then you have everybody else that needs to be paid. Look at Jamar Chase. Jamar Chase, to me, another boneheaded organization. Joe Burrow is balling out this season, and he obviously is talented. I love Joe's swag, always have. I think he's a swaggy ass guy. I love him and his talent. But they didn't want to pay Jamar Chase. Now you got to pay him, and then T. Higgins is looking to be paid. And how are you going to pay them both? Because they're both, top 5, top 10 in the league? You can't pay them less unless they're willing to take a pay cut. Then how do you keep them both? And you still paying Joe? You know what I mean? And then you need to do something with that defense. You gotta ramp that defense up. Otherwise, you waste all of Joe's talent. Nevertheless, you guys, back to Saquon. I don't want to go on too much of a rant right there. I just wanted to get that out. And let me hear your thoughts in the comments about that. But I think Chase is absolutely crazy. I understand what he's saying because the bigger picture is Super Bowl, right? You don't want to have him break a record and then get hurt. I mean, Saquon has been hurt in the past. That is true. But you don't want to have him break a record and then he's not available for the playoffs. So I get Chase's point, but damn it, bump all that. Saquon, get out there, break that record, stomp all over the Giants, show them that they made a mistake, and show them just how valuable you are. I am rooting for Saquon, and I know that he's not going to be MVP, although he should be in the conversation a little bit more than what he is. Being honest, just my personal opinion. Offensive Player of the Year, that could be Lamar as well. That could be Joe. Looking at his stats, he is leading the charge when it comes to stats. So many awards, you guys. Who knows? So much is going on. But I want to shout Saquon now and absolutely do this video because he better break this record. I'm rooting for him to break this record. I'm excited to see what happens. And let's get ready for the postseason. Let's get ready for some playoff games, you guys. What teams are you rooting for? Who is your favorite team? Your favorite quarterback, running back, wide receiver? Let me know in those comments. And I will see you, of course, in the next video. Maybe in New Year. Next year. Maybe I'll see you guys next year. Peace out, you.